Hey friends, my name is Matt. I'm the youth and family pastor at Cornerstone Church in Marshfield. I'm here today with your Cornerstone Connection, a daily devotional. Well, today, friends, we are embarking on the book of Deuteronomy. We've just finished up the book of Numbers, and we're going to jump into Deuteronomy chapter 1 today. Now, I want to throw out what I believe is a fairly popular phrase, and I bet you've heard it before, and I'm sure you probably know what it means, but I'll just share that anyways. So the phrase is this: history repeats itself. And sometimes people add history is bound to repeat itself, history just does. Life is cyclical, and what happened maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 50 years ago is eventually going to repeat itself at some point, either in the present or the future. And oftentimes when we talk about history repeating itself, it can carry a negative connotation. This idea of the mistakes that people make in the past, if they do not learn from them, they will simply make them in the future. Well, today, as we open our Bibles to Deuteronomy chapter 1, as Bible commentators will share the first 3 chapters, and really, I guess, the first 4 chapters, Moses is speaking here in the book of Deuteronomy, and he's giving what commentators would call a historical prologue. My Bible says Moses' first speech reviews Israel's past failure at Kadesh. It reviews its passing through Edom, Moab, and Ammon without fighting. It reviews its success over Heshbon and Bashan and the distribution of those 2 parts, those 2 lands. And so Moses is giving a speech here, and he's reviewing Israel's history, specifically that of their time of leaving Egypt to where they are right now. And one of the things that we see in chapter 1, and we don't have the time to read all of chapter 1 today, is that we see, as we did throughout Numbers, we see the favor of God, we see the commands of God, we see the plan of God, Him constantly telling His people, hey, do this, hey, trust me, hey, I've given you this land, just go take it. I promise you, you'll be able to take it. Why? Because I'm with you. And over again, Moses talks about how he's telling the people, remember when God would say this. Remember when God told you this, and yet you did not believe. And so there's these terms like yet, and these terms like yet in spite of this. You wouldn't believe, you wouldn't trust Him. And so what happened? History repeated itself. What could have been a great success and a way of displaying that God was faithful to His promises over and over again. Israel, because of their lack of faith, their lack of trust in God, their grumbling, their complaining, they failed. And they spent 40 years in the wilderness. When what commentators share, in my Bible at least, is from Mount Sinai to the Promised Land was a journey of 11 days. It's incredible, isn't it? And today, friends, what I want to communicate, and we're going to read a little bit of the end of Deuteronomy chapter 1, is that history does repeat itself. And yet, I'll add this, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. In fact, we can learn from our past mistakes and apply that learning so that the future doesn't look the same as the past. Unfortunately for the Israelites, they chose not to learn from their past, and instead they chose to harden their hearts to a point where it just was too late. And as we jump into Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 34, we're going to see how the Lord responds as the people finally go, okay, we'll trust. And let's see what happens. It says, and the Lord heard your words and was angered, and He swore, not one of these men of this evil generation shall see the good land that I swore to give to your fathers, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh. He shall see it, and to him and his children I will give the land on which he has trodden, because he has fully followed the Lord. Even with me, and this is Moses speaking, even with me the Lord was angry on your account, and said, you also shall not go in there. Joshua the son of Nun, who stands before you, he shall enter. Encourage him, for he shall cause Israel to inherit it. And as for your little ones, who you said would become a prey, and your children, who today have no knowledge of good or evil, they shall go in there. And to them I will give it, and they shall possess it. But as for you, turn and journey into the wilderness in the direction of the Red Sea. Then you, people, answered me, Moses, we have sinned against the Lord. We ourselves will go up and fight, just as the Lord our God commanded us. And every one of you fastened on his weapons of war, and thought it easy to go up into the hill country. And the Lord said to me, say to them, do not go up or fight, for I am not in your midst, lest you be defeated before your enemies. So I spoke to you, and you would not listen. You wouldn't learn from the past. But you rebelled against the command of the Lord and presumptuously went up into the hill country. Then the Amorites who lived in that hill country came out against you and chased you as bees do, and beat you down in Seir as far as Ormah. And you returned, and you wept before the Lord, but the Lord did not listen to your voice or give ear to you. So you remained at Kadesh many days, the days that you remained there. Again, Israel refused to learn from their past. And what their past continued to scream to them was, you need to listen and trust God. You need to go when he says go. You need to stay when he says stay. You need to learn from your past. You need to listen. Again, to quote the commentators in my Bible, they write this. They say the purpose of chapters 1 through 3 is not simply to retell history, but to use history to persuade Israel to trust God so that they can conquer the land. Friends, I want you to take a moment and look at your history. It could be recent history, it could be long gone history. But are you using the mistakes, are you using the failures of the past, the times where you haven't been obedient to God? Because we're all in that camp. We've all had those moments. Are you using those mistakes and those sins of the past, that disobedience, to learn lessons that you can apply to the present and to the future, and to obey God? That he has your good in mind, that as he has your good in mind, he has his glory in mind as well. Friends, history does repeat itself, but it doesn't have to. The negative doesn't have to. We can learn from it, and we can grow from it, and we can lead on in the future and not repeat the same mistakes of the past. Friends, let's not be like the people of Israel. Let's trust the Lord today and listen for his voice. Have a great day, friends. We'll see you next time on the Cornerstone Connection.